Hello friend, welcome to the Zara quiz. Today we are going to play Would You Rather quiz. Make sure subscribe for more awesome quizzes like this. Let's go.
Would you rather Captain America version of ice cream or Wasp version of ice cream? Would you rather Batman version of ice cream or Supergirl version of ice cream? Would you rather Wonder Woman version of ice cream or the Punisher version of ice cream? Would you rather Superman version of ice cream or Deadpool version of ice cream? Would you rather Robin version of ice cream or Jean Grey version of ice cream? Would you rather Nightwing version of ice cream or Ant-Man version of ice cream? Would you rather Captain Marvel version of ice cream or Hawkeye version of ice cream? Would you rather Spider-Man version of ice cream or Mr. Fantastic version of ice cream? Would you rather the Flash version of ice cream or Hawkman version of ice cream? Would you rather Wolverine version of ice cream or the Thing version of ice cream? Would you rather Black Widow version of ice cream or Invisible Woman version of ice cream? Would you rather Zatanna version of ice cream or Luke Cage version of ice cream? Would you rather Thor version of ice cream or Jessica Jones version of ice cream? Would you rather Hulk version of ice cream or Iron Fist version of ice cream? Would you rather Black Panther version of ice cream or Human Torch version of ice cream? Would you rather Green Lantern version of ice cream or Silver Surfer version of ice cream? Would you rather Iron Man version of ice cream or Rogue version of ice cream? Would you rather Aquaman version of ice cream or Shazam version of ice cream? Would you rather Invisible Woman version of ice cream or Green Arrow version of ice cream? Would you rather Human Torch version of ice cream or Storm version of ice cream? Would you rather Hawkman version of ice cream or Captain America version of ice cream? Would you rather the Atom version of ice cream or Martian Manhunter version of ice cream? Would you rather Dr. Fate version of ice cream or Hellboy version of ice cream? Would you rather Daredevil version of ice cream or Blade version of ice cream? Would you rather Cyclops version of ice cream or Ghost Rider version of ice cream? Would you rather Doctor Strange version of ice cream or Spawn version of ice cream? Would you rather Luke Cage version of ice cream or the Atom version of ice cream? Would you rather Spawn version of ice cream or Black Panther version of ice cream? Would you rather the Tick version of ice cream or Green Lantern version of ice cream? Would you rather Swamp Thing version of ice cream or Aquaman version of ice cream? Would you rather Silver Surfer version of ice cream or Superman version of ice cream? Would you rather Shazam version of ice cream or Robin version of ice cream? Would you rather Jessica Jones version of ice cream or Dr. Fate version of ice cream? Would you rather Iron Fist version of ice cream or Iron Man version of ice cream? Would you rather Green Arrow version of ice cream or the Tick version of ice cream? Would you rather Storm version of ice cream or Swamp Thing version of ice cream? Would you rather Rogue version of ice cream or Nightwing version of ice cream? Would you rather Wasp version of ice cream or Captain Marvel version of ice cream? Would you rather Deadpool version of ice cream or Batman version of ice cream? Would you rather Supergirl version of ice cream or Thor version of ice cream? Would you rather the Punisher version of ice cream or Hulk version of ice cream? Would you rather Mr. Fantastic version of ice cream or the Flash version of ice cream? Would you rather Blade version of ice cream or Wolverine version of ice cream? Would you rather Ghost Rider version of ice cream or Black Widow version of ice cream? Would you rather Martian Manhunter version of ice cream or Daredevil version of ice cream? Would you rather Hellboy version of ice cream or Cyclops version of ice cream? Would you rather Jean Grey version of ice cream or Wonder Woman version of ice cream? Would you rather Ant-Man version of ice cream or Spider-Man version of ice cream? Would you rather Hawkeye version of ice cream or Zatanna version of ice cream? Would you rather Doctor Strange version of ice cream or Spawn version of ice cream? Would you rather Luke Cage version of ice cream or the Atom version of ice cream? Would you rather Jessica Jones version of ice cream or Dr. Fate version of ice cream? Would you rather Iron Fist version of ice cream or Iron Man version of ice cream? Would you rather Green Arrow version of ice cream or the Tick version of ice cream? Would you rather Storm version of ice cream or Swamp Thing version of ice cream? Would you rather The Thing version of ice cream or Doctor Strange version of ice cream?